In this video, we'll learn about the leverage analysis. What is leverage analysis? What are the different types of leverages? And how each kind of leverage is calculated. So first, we'll understand the concept through this example. Here we see that there are two boys who are sitting on seesaw. If this boy puts a pressure towards the downside, this other side of seesaw will go up and this boy will go to the higher side, and then this boy will come back to his original position or will go more towards downside, okay, towards the ground. So more is the push this boy is applying, more is the height this boy is going to reach at, and with the same speed this boy is going to come down. The seesaw works on the concept of lever. Here we see that with a little push, this boy, who otherwise is not able to throw this boy towards the upside, is able to make this boy reach to a height higher than the ground and then come back with the same intensity. This lever function also works when we talk about jack in cars. If our tire gets punctured, we cannot hold the car and just pick it up to change the tire. What is there is a jack, an instrument which functions on the concept of lever, wherein with just a small amount of pressure on the jack, the side of the car rises up and we can easily change the tire of the car. So levers in machine means the instrument that helps us in lifting heavy objects, just like car I gave in the example, which may not be otherwise possible. The lifting of such machines, the lifting of such objects is not possible otherwise, but with the help of these machines, we can lift those heavy objects. If we talk in context of financial management, the leverage or the leverage concept is used to describe the firm's ability to use fixed assets, costs, fund to satisfy and to magnify the returns of its owner. In putting it in simple words, it means leverage in financial management is the ability of a firm to use its fixed cost assets, just like plant, building, machinery, to magnify the returns. And it is as compared, the returns are magnified as compared to the thing when the organization used variable cost. Okay, so use of fixed cost assets instead of variable cost assets to magnify the returns. So if any organization is using fixed cost assets, it is magnifying its return. And another word which is used here is fixed cost assets funds as well. That means if fixed cost funds are used in the organization will have magnification of returns. From where the organization gets fixed cost funds, it is fixed cost funds are through, either it may be through bank loans or it may be through issual of debentures or bond. So what we understand is, if organization is going for more fixed cost assets like mechanization of the organization, building a plant, building machinery, etc. And if organization, rather than using equity as a source of funds, is using debt as a source of fund, then again the firm may be having leverage in its capital structure and its returns are going to get magnified. Okay, then leverage is a strategy that companies use to increase assets, cash flows, and returns. Okay, just in the previous slide, we have studied that it is a strategy which is used by the organization to do what? To magnify the return. But a point should be understood here is that leverage is a double-edged sword. You can see in this figure, This is a kind of sword. When hit to anyone, it cuts on both these sides, through this side as well and through this side as well. Same is same is considered in leverage. That means what? Leverage can magnify your returns and it may magnify your losses too. Okay. Whatever be the normal condition of your organization, if the profits are 10%, they are the normal profits. But if you use leverage, your profit may maximize to 20%. Okay. The profits may maximize to 20% with the use of leverage. But if you are not using leverage properly, the loss percentage may also magnify. That means in normal cases, if you are having just loss, and if you are not utilizing leverage properly, your loss may be magnified to 5%, 6%, or 10%. This we can understand through this example only. In normal condition, if the pressure is less, if the use of leverage is less, this boy may go to side. Okay, you may see my cursor moving. This boy may go to the side only, but if more push is there, the boy will reach to this height. Okay, but the other side should also be considered. The speed or the pace at which this boy is reaching to the side, he'll come down with the same intensity or pressure. So coming down can be understood as losses, and magnification of losses, and going up can be understood as magnification of profit. So what we understand, leverage is a double-edged sword. It should be used carefully. It may magnify your profit, it may magnify your losses as well. Then there are three types of leverages which are studied. The first type is called as financial leverage. The second is called as operating leverage. Called as composite or combined leverage. Okay, in some places you will find the word combined leverage, and at the other places you will find the word as composite leverage. Okay, this is the another way of representing the three types of leverage. Okay, the first kind of leverage is called as operating leverage. So how any organization may achieve operating leverage? And any organization may achieve operating leverage by the use of fixed operating cost as opposed to variable operating cost. That means if any organization wants to have operating leverage, it should invest in fixed operating cost like in machinery, okay, rather than investing in variable operating cost. Variable operating cost comes from mainly like labor cost is a variable cost. So if any organization is going for being more organized rather than being more labor intensive, okay, going for more mechanization, so operating leverage can be achieved. So what we see, with the help of operating leverage, a firm will with relatively high fixed operating costs will experience more variable operating income if sales changes. So with the use of more operating cost, fixed operating cost, it will have effect on the sales of the organization, and with sales will understand that the variable operating income of the organization will increase. How we can understand this with an example? Suppose I'm into manufacturing of handloom saris, and handloom saris is a manual work. It is a labor intensive work. On one handloom, only one person may work at a time. Okay, suppose I have 5 looms, and one person can 5 saris in a day. So effectively, by at the end of the day, I am able to manufacture only 5 saris on those looms. Okay, so I'll be able to sell only those 5 saris and earn income. If rather than being this labor intensive, rather than being in this labor intensive business, I plan to buy a machinery. Okay, that is, the machinery is going to have a fixed operating cost, but it may not be labor intensive. The machine will have various capacity. Like my machine has a capacity of manufacturing 100 sari a day. So by using that machinery, I'll be able to manufacture 100 saris. Fine. I'll be able to manufacture 100 saris and I will be able to sell 100 saris in the market. So my operating income will increase. Okay. So with the use, what we understand is with the use of fixed operating cost, the income the operating income may increase. Understanding it on the opposite side means what? Opposite side means what I'm doing is like, as I said, leverage is a double-edged sword. So how mechanization or how going for fixed operating cost affects the losses? Going to the first part first, that is, if I'm into manufacturing of handloom saris, okay, and suppose one of my labor is not able to make a good sari, and the design gets it's not perfect and there are certain flaws in it. So what I'll have, out of 5 saris being manufactured, only one sari is of poor design and I'll not be able to sell it in the market. But when I'm into mechanization, I need to give input of 100 saris at a go. So the final product, if there is a mistake, the final product of the machine will be 100 pieces of defective saris. So when I was intensive, my loss was just on one sari. But here, if I see my complete lot is defective now, and I am not able to sell it in market. So leverage is a double-edged sword. It magnifies your profit, but it may magnify your losses as well. Coming to the financial leverage part, how you achieve financial leverage? It is through the fixed cost sources of financing like debt, preference stock. If you raise fund for your capital structure through debt or fixed interest bearing sources, then what you will have? You will have financial leverage in your capital structure. Suppose I have to start a business. Okay, the options are, I may go for bank loan and I may go for my own capital. So when I'm going for bank loan, it will be a time bound loan, and what I need to do is I need to just pay interest on it for a certain duration of time. I'll be free from that loan. And even if I take loan, I'll have benefit of tax deduction. That means the debt has a tax advantage as well. But if I go for my own equity or I raise funds from making partners or by issuing shares, what I'll have many people to share my income. And then what I have to do? I have to do what? I have to like share my income, and as well as those shareholders are for my lifelong time. So it is not time bound, it is for equity is for lifelong time. So leverage, financial leverage you achieve when you have fixed cost sources of financing. That is, you are building up your capital structure with more of debt or preferred stock. Preferred stock carry they carry preference dividend rather than going for variable cost sources like common stock. Okay. If you talk about operating leverage, it's a fixed business risk of the firm. Okay, that is, business risk is what? It is the variability or uncertainty of firm's operating income. We understood through example why there is uncertainty. The lot may get the lot may be of poor quality. Sari lot I'm talking about. The lot may be of poor quality, and then if you are going for mechanization, you're excuse me, you are building 100 units of you're manufacturing 100 units of saris, and unfortunately there is no demand. So you have already manufactured, you're invested in raw material, you have already manufactured saris. Now what you are going to do with that lot? So there is a business risk associated with operating leverage, that is of variability of EBIT. Because there are no sales, your EBIT is going to come down. In case of financial financial leverage, it is having financial risk. What is financial risk? That is, financial risk is the variability or uncertainty of firm's earnings per share and the increased probability of insolvency that arises when a firm uses financial leverage. You have taken financial leverage. That means you've gone for debt, you've gone for bank loans, you've gone for debentures, you've gone for bonds, etc. Okay, though they are time bound, but they need what? Continuous or regular payment of interest on them. So if you're not earning anything, how you're going to pay those Those things means how you're going to pay interest on that, and that may lead to insolvency. If your business is not doing good but you need to pay interest on bank, no bank is going to forgive you for that. Okay. Your bond holders, your debenture holders, they're going to ask for interest. So there is risk, that is financial risk associated with financial leverage. What we have discussed is there are both positive and negative aspects of leverage. Fine. Operating leverage, it is having its positive side, it is having its negative side. Financial leverage, again, it gives you tax benefit, it gives you freedom of having income after the payment of the due, but it has its own repercussions. When you go for more of leverage, your insolvency risk also increases, and this may not be liked by your shareholders too. If you go for more of debt, then nothing is left for ordinary equity shareholders. Nothing is left. Lesser amount of income is left for ordinary equity shareholders, and they may not like it. Repercussions: they may start selling your shares, and in market, your market capitalization may decrease. Your market price of share will decrease, and market capitalization will decrease. Okay. Formulas you should know before you go for the calculation of leverage, like how a contribution is calculated. Contribution is nothing but it is difference between sales and variable cost. And how EBIT is calculated? EBIT is calculated when fixed cost, FC is fixed cost, it is subtracted from contribution. How EBT is calculated? If you subtract interest on the fixed dues from EBIT, you get EBT. And if you deduct taxes from EBT, you get EAT. And if you divide EAT by number of shares outstanding, you'll get earning per shares. These are the calculations which are of importance because they help you in calculation of operating leverage and financial leverage. Okay. Coming to the break-even analysis, it illustrates the effect of operating leverage. How operating leverage lowers down your break-even analysis or take it to the further right, that we need to understand, and how it is important for forecasting of profitability of firm's product line. Fine. So using this analysis, we can understand the any changes in fixed cost, variable cost, and its impact on the earnings of the organization. Here what we see, the certain terminologies are given. P stands for price per unit, Q for quantity produced, V for variable cost per unit, PC for total variable cost, F for fixed cost, TC for total cost, that is the sum total of variable cost and fixed cost, and S is sales. It may be in rupees, it may be in dollar. So this is the chart which explains the break-even analysis. The line shows the PQ, that is the revenue part. The y-axis shows the dollar part, that is your sales part, and Q is the quantity taken on the x-axis. So suppose we take an example. Suppose the firm has both fixed operating cost, that is to fixed cost related to administrative salaries, insurance, rent, property tax, etc., and variable cost as well, which includes material cost, labor cost, packaging, sales commission, etc. So this graph explains like when here on axis this is the quantity and here is the cost associated. So if we go for this white line, okay, if we go first, we'll start with the yellow line. Okay, so with the quantity produced, we see that your total revenue goes like this. Okay, and suppose the white line represents the total cost. Okay, total cost is the sum of variable cost and fixed cost. This small curly bracket, this must shows that this is the fixed cost, and over and above this, that is your variable cost. And this white line represents the total of both variable cost and your variable cost and fixed cost. So we see that the cost line and the revenue line, they intersect at a point, and this point is called as break even point, and your earnings at this point is will be considered as break even earning. Okay, and what we see is that the difference between the revenues and the total cost is your EBIT. earnings. Okay, this is a case when you're not using any kind of leverage in the organization. Okay, we'll understand the second case when the operating leverage, that is, we increase the fixed operating cost in the organization. Okay, so what happens if the firm increases its fixed operating cost or reduces or eliminates variable cost? We see this graph. Here we see that here the fixed cost, the amount of fixed cost is increased, and we have practically eliminated what the variable cost point. So total cost at this point equals to the fixed cost. And then this line, this shows the total revenue line. What we see is the gap between the total revenue line and the total cost line has increased. That means your this curly bracket shows your increase in EBT. If you see the previous graph, you will find that EBT was smaller curly bracket, smaller difference, smaller amount of EBIT. But when you use fixed cost, so your EBIT has increased. Okay, and you see your break even here. So with the operating leverage, an increase in sales produces a relatively larger increase in operating income. Operating income is nothing but EBIT. And the firm has higher break-even point. If the sales are not enough, firm will not be able to meet fixed expenses. Okay, earlier break-even point was this, and now with the use of fixed cost, the break-even point has shifted to this. So company has to emphasize on sale, the quantity of sales, so as to reach to this break-even point. If company is not making enough sales, then the company will not be able to meet its fixed cost expenditures. Okay, how degree of operating leverage is understood? It is understood by operating leverages by using fixed operating costs. A small change in sales revenues magnified into larger change in operating income. So when you make changes in leverage, when you go for operating leverage, your sales revenue corresponding to operating income increases, and that is called as the multiplier effect, and it is measured to degree of operating leverage. How the formula is represented? Degree of operating leverage can be calculated as percentage change in EBT upon percentage change in sales. Okay, because you need to find out change here. So change requires two income statement, two different periods for understanding the effect of leverage. Two different base periods and two different levels of same. Like one level of same sales will be without leverage and another level of sales will be with leverage, and corresponding to both sales EBIT will be there. Okay, so this is another way of representing degree of operating leverage, like sales minus variable cost upon EBIT. Okay, then how we calculate degree of financial leverage? It is used how fixed cost financing helps the firm, that is a small change in the operating income is magnified into large change per share. So again, it will be called as multiplier effect. And how degree of financial leverage is calculated? It is nothing but the change in EPS upon change in EBIT. And what we see again, because we are calculating change, we need two different datas or two different financial for two different periods. Like one period wherein you are not using financial leverage, and one period where you are using financial leverage. Okay, so this is just an example, you can go through it, like how leverage is calculated and how the things are to be considered. It then comes the degree of combined leverage. Before we go to degree of combined leverage, we should understand the concept of combined leverage, how combined leverage is achieved. Combined leverage is achieved when an organization uses both fixed when the organization uses financial leverage as well as operating leverage. It is multiplier. That means 1 plus 1 combined leverage 1 plus 1 is not 2, it gives 11 effect or multiplication effect. Okay, that means what? It means when you are having both financial leverage and operating leverage, you will have multiplying effect in your capital structure. So how we can understand this with an example? Like taking the previous example of handlooms only, handloom was being labor intensive. Suppose we want to go capital intensive, we purchased a machine, and that machine is purchased by taking loan from bank. So loan from bank will give you financial leverage, having machine will give you operating leverage. So both having financial leverage and operating leverage will give you composite or combined leverage. Okay, so by using operating leverage and financial leverage, your sales change in sales are magnified, and there will be larger effect in the change in earning per share. It is again a multiplier effect. How DCL or degree of combined leverage is calculated? It is nothing. As I said, it is multiplier effect. So it is calculated by product of degree of operating leverage into degree of financial leverage. We know we know the formulas of DOL and DFL from the previous slides. It is given like here you got to know the formula of DFL, and here you got to know the formula of DOL. Another formula is there. So using DOL from here and the formula of DFL from here, we come to the formula of degree of combined leverage as change in EPS upon change in sales. Okay. So what we understand is, like for calculation of degree of combined leverage, again we need data for two different time periods. One when there was no use of leverage, and when there was a use of leverage, so that a comparison can be made. Okay. So summing up, a firm needs funds to run and manage its activity. The funds are first needed to set up enterprise and then implement expansion, diversification, or other plans. A decision has to be made regarding the composition of funds, like from where the funds are going to come. The funds may be raised through two different sources. One is owner's equity and outsider's equity, and other that is called as creditor's equity. So financial leverage exists when a firm says debt and other sources of fund that carry fixed charges. This is sum up, and through this side, through this slide, we can understand the calculation of financial leverage. It is also called as financial leverage ratio, and it indicates how much debt a company is using. A higher ratio, that is higher financial ratio, means firm is highly levered, and a low ratio indicates the opposite, that it is low in leverage. So financial leverage can be calculated as average total asset upon average equity. Okay. uh, this is something extra which you can read when you have free time. Okay, so return on investments in asset is greater than the rate on the borrowed firm. That means if you are able to earn more on the firms borrowed, like 10% interest is charged by bank and your rate of return on investment is 12%, so you are 2% positive, so you have positive financial leverage. And again, if the fixed rate of return on borrowed fund is 10% and you are able to earn just 8%, so your financial leverage is negative. Okay, and similarly for operating leverage, which is associated with employment of fixed cost fund, and it is calculated to know the income of a company on different levels of sale. And how it is measured? It measures the effect of operating profit on of the concern on the changes of sales. Okay, so what is the formula? Formula for operating leverage is fixed cost upon variable cost. It can also be calculated as a ratio of fixed cost upon total cost. Fine. And this is for general information. And composite leverage, as I said earlier, it is nothing but the product of financial leverage and operating leverage. So degree of combined leverage is again the product of degree of financial leverage into degree of operating leverage. Okay, fine. Or effect of debt on ROA and ROE we are going to study in the next class. So this completes your leverage this part, and we'll discuss further things about leverage or any effect of leverage on ROE or ROA in the next class. Thank you.